I'm Mike Bremer. I'm the Vice President of Consumer Protection for Experian, and my colleague here, Yaron Samid from BillGuard. We're delighted to be here to talk to you about the newest innovation and our product partnership between Experian and BillGuard. If you look to your left and to your right, half of you in this room are 100 million people in the United States that have a debit or a credit card have had it compromised in a data breach over the last 12 months. You can't go a week without reading about a headline, especially retail breaches. We've had 1,720 that are reported, and keep in mind that only about 15% of all breaches are reported, but that's almost a 100% increase over the last 3 years. Over the last 10 years that Experian has been doing data breach resolution, we've serviced about 130,000 cases of identity theft. And in the last 12 months, 85% of those cases involve some sort of retail card fraud. If you look over the last 3 years, the increase has been 92% in incidences of card fraud. And unfortunately, financial institutions catch less than 50% of that card fraud, and it never gets reported to you. We've been very fortunate with ProtectMyID. In 5 years in servicing data breaches, we have provided free memberships to over 8.5 million people. The nice thing about ProtectMyID, it's got a lot of good features, from card fraud monitoring, looking at the 50 leading indicators of fraud on your credit file, $1 million insurance policy, and then personalized fraud resolution that doesn't stop when your membership ends, but continues on with extend care for as long as you need it. But now's the time to take identity theft protection to the new level, and I'd like to turn it over to Yaron to talk about our great new partnership with BillGuard.
Thank you, Mike. So for the other half of the room here, the data shows that your card is going to be stolen in the next 12 months. And here's what we're doing about it at BillGuard. So for those of you who haven't heard, BillGuard is the leading card fraud monitoring application in the world. In the last 12 months, since we launched the mobile app, we have grown to over 1 million users. It's actually the fastest growing personal finance app today in America. The more important stat is that our technology has helped data breach victims in particular, who are suffering the most, to find over $17 million in card fraud that the banks have missed. We provide a suite of services in our application, and the main point behind the product is to make you more effective at checking your own card activity for suspicious charges. You hear it after every single breach. The number one recommendation to consumers, who knows what it is? What are you told to do? Yell it out. Check your statements. You get no help doing it, but you're told, literally by everybody, to check your statements. Consumers are unfortunately not that good at it. Software is fantastic at it. The combination of consumers and software is really what's making this innovation possible. BillGuard employs a very unique form of crowdsourcing in order to harness the collective knowledge of millions of people who are all reporting bad charges the way they would mark a spam email in their email inbox. All the data sent to a central database. Algorithms are then learning what are good transactions versus bad transactions. But what we realize is that this problem is far bigger than any one company can solve, which is why we are thrilled to announce today the partnership between BillGuard and ProtectMyID. What you're about to see today, and this is the first time anyone has ever seen it, is the most advanced identity protection product on the market, and it has been built from the ground up for mobile. This is the new integrated product by BillGuard and ProtectMyID. What you'll notice is that there are 3 main areas of technology that are being brought to consumers. The first one is the ability to track your money more effectively. And this is really critical in that the process of checking our statements is very cumbersome, and most of us simply don't do it. What we have built is an email-like interface for quickly reviewing your transactions the way you would review an email. Transaction looks okay, swipe to the right. Transaction doesn't look okay, swipe to the left, and be able to take immediate action. When you do that, the analytics system behind the beautiful application is learning and it's getting more effective at protecting everyone. This is what we call the smart inbox. You see at the very top of that, the system automatically is prioritizing transactions for your review, and that enables you to spot the fraudulent charges very, very quickly. We use crowdsourcing not only to detect fraud, but it also enriches all the metadata of the transaction. So what you're looking at here is a details view behind a transaction. This is curated by millions of consumers who are all adding metadata about the charge itself. Transaction analytics, this is 4 years in the making and about 3 patents pending in order to be able to identify in transaction data patterns that are very common to fraud. We also bring that into the UI level so that consumers can find these anomalies themselves. Card protection. This is the first identity protection solution on the market that offers card fraud monitoring. BillGuard uses our unique IP to be able to detect suspicious activity on the user's payment cards, whether it be credit, debit, prepaid, or even their bank accounts, and alerts them directly on their phone. A new feature that has been heralded by industry experts as a breakthrough in card fraud monitoring is our card location alerts. This enables a consumer to be notified anytime their card is swiped at a physical location away from them by using the geolocation data we have from the phone. Data breach alerts. By monitoring transactions, we're also able to alert a customer when they have shopped at a breached merchant during the breach window and to notify them directly on their phone. Every major data breach this year that was announced by the merchant, BillGuard had alerted its customers before the merchant, weeks in advance. Not only can you be alerted, but you can take action. So with our Card Concierge product, you can click a button in the app to connect directly to a merchant to resolve any issue. You can contact an issuer, and now with a partnership with ProtectMyID, be connected directly to the world's #1 customer service and fraud specialists in the world. Lastly, identity protection powered by ProtectMyID. We are bringing all the power and all the analytics of ProtectMyID directly to your phone. Your phone will now scan the internet for your credit card information and your personal information, such as your social security number, across all those dark web sites where hackers are buying and selling your data. You also get powerful 3-bureau monitoring directly to your phone, and this is an important UX advance. Not only will you get email alerts, but your credit alerts, new inquiries, address changes, etc., will all show up in your transaction activity so that you can quickly review them the way you would review your transactions. Not only will you get the ability to review, but if something looks wrong, you're one button click away from ProtectMyID's call center and specialist to resolve your problem and get your credit back in shape. Mike and I can talk a lot about how great the innovation is and what it's going to mean for consumers. I'd like to show you a slide we added a few hours ago to this presentation. A quote by the leading security analyst in the United States, Aviva Litan from Gartner, who said, "It is reassuring to see that market demand drives innovation, and in this case, consumers can finally get what they need and deserve." We're very proud today to announce this partnership. Most importantly, for the 100% of you in the audience and the millions outside of this room, we are now safer together. I'm going to turn it over to Mike for last comments.
Yeah, it's great to work with BillGuard, and as Yaron pointed out, the fact that we have the best in breed of existing identity theft protection and then combining the complementary features that BillGuard provides and the recommendation from any security analysis to look at your transactions but not look at them from the standpoint of viewing them, but use the crowdsourcing feature. And it's a unique way that allows us to be able to claim the title of the best identity theft protection available, specifically built for mobile. Thank you very much.
Thanks, everyone.